Hello, everyone.
Yo, what's up?
For those of you who don't know, my name is Alyssa.
And I'm Marlene.
And this is
What's Your Favorite Scary Story?
Yay!
We usually don't do that.
No,
Just
I mean,
in
I
case.
felt like having some fun tonight.
Yeah.
But, tonight, this may be the episode where we are the most tired we've ever been. At least me.
Yeah, we always say we're tired and stuff, but we're really fucking tired today.
It was a day.
It was a very long,
Exhaustive.
strenuous day.
Exhaustive?
I think this is the last episode podcast.
Ever?
Yeah, actually.
What?
It's the last podcast.
Is this your way of telling me something?
Yeah. You don't know? It's the last podcast, babe.
Why?
It's the last podcast in this house. Because we get...
That's all I can do right now is sigh.
We get the keys to our house tomorrow.
We do.
Yo, we get
right.
the keys to Casita tomorrow.
Yay,
oh my God.
Casita Ramirez.
Casita Ramirez, bro.
Woo! Shoo! That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Marlene had the impulsive thought to just go ahead and get a U-Haul truck and pack all of our things in it tonight.
Yeah.
So we did.
I mean, I guess it was kind of like last minute, like, let's fucking do this thing.
But it's worth it.
It's totally worth it because then it shortens our trips.
Yeah, we're just going to have to make this one trip and then the final one when we actually go there for good.
It's because our house, the house we're in right now versus our casita, it's about an hour away. So
about
I was like, dude,
a little over 50 minutes.
Let's just fucking do everything in one fucking, like,
swoop.
Yeah, and that's it. And we're good.
Yeah, I think it's for the best. But yeah, so we officially will have that house tomorrow. Yay!
Congratulations, babe.
And then also to just add to our fun, intense, busy week, what's happening then on Tuesday?
So by the time you hear this, we may or may not be fully employed.
Perhaps.
In Tennessee. So,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I guess we'll see.
We both, I mean, if it wasn't clear, we both have interviews on Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes. And then Wednesday, we're getting like 1 million things delivered to our house, furniture and whatnot. So we have to be there all day because it's literally a delivery of time of like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that.
We'll see, yeah. But
lots going on.
A lot going on in the next 2 weeks and actually next month still. It's still very fucking busy, but
it's all for the good.
Yeah. Man. Alrighty.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we just like freaking killed you guys with the longest episodes ever these past couple weeks.
I don't blame you if you didn't listen to the whole thing last week.
Sorry, but you know what? It was necessary. But this week, we are going to give you guys a break. This is going to be a much more chill, shorter episode. It's still a great story. I'm excited for it, but we're tired. And I'm pretty sure you guys are tired. You don't want to hear another hour and a half story, so...
Like nearly 2 hours, actually.
Yeah, the last one was forever.
So we're going to make sure that this one's the doable for the normal person. Actually, I don't even know what topic is this week.
You don't know anything.
Yeah, you just said that...
That's the best.
Someone,
kind... Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, per usual.
Sorry. Okay.
Marlene's skipping ahead. Not that important, but so we've had a lot of fun the past month doing like things a little different than how we normally do it. But it is time to get back to our like usual format, like the regular where like we do a topic that someone suggests,
regular regularities, you mean.
Exactly. That is exactly what I meant.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we're going to go back to how we usually do things. So this week's story was actually suggested by a woman that my mom and I met when we were in Savannah. Her name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi.
And she worked at a boutique that we went into. She was super, super nice and really helpful. And my mom and I spent way too much money there. But somehow we ended up talking about the paranormal and whatnot. So, of course, my mom goes ahead and shamelessly plugs the podcast. And so this woman, Sarah, she tells us some stories, not like personal stories, but I guess she used to be a cop and like she's heard some things. So that was like kind of cool. Also, I'm kind of having like a little bit of an existential crisis that I'm remembering her name wrong for some reason. And it's not actually Sarah, but I'm like 97% sure that it is. But if I'm wrong, I am so sorry, Sarah, or whoever, whatever your name is, and please feel free to call me out. It is not personal.
Dude, please call her out.
Please, I mean, I've had a lot going on. I don't mean anything by it, and I'm so sorry.
Alyssa the fuck out, bro.
But I think it's Sarah. I've been hearing a lot of stories revolving around the name Sarah, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I think it is, but I feel like I remember thinking, oh, that'll be easy to remember, and I feel like it's because it was Sarah.
Well, wasn't our tour guide at The Conjuring, wasn't her name Sarah?
I think so, but even like stories, like more recently, like stories in Savannah that I heard, I feel like there was Sarah's. Okay. Sarah Winchester, like Sarah's all over the place. So I hope that's her name.
Sarah Borden.
Sarah Borden? Are you just making up Bordens?
Yes. Jeez, that's how tired she is, guys. She didn't even get my joke. Okay, let's get through this so you can get some sleep.
Haha, you're so funny, babe.
Anyway, Sarah, if she's getting your name wrong, I'm sorry for repeating it.
But I'm doing your story, so I think that makes up for it, right?
Yeah, we'll see next week. I don't know. If she reaches, please reach out, please.
Oh yeah, we have an Instagram for her and anyone that doesn't know. It's just What's Your Favorite Scary Story on Instagram. You should follow it and stay up to date there. You can see when the episodes come out and little announcements where, like, I know we keep freaking saying this, but merch will be very, very soon. It's coming out. We just have to move first.
But Sarah, if you would love to send some hate mail, you can also send it to what's your favorite scary story at gmail.com and send it to title it, in the email title kind of thing. Yeah, just say for Alyssa and then
from not Sarah.
From not Sarah.
Yeah. Also for Sarah and not Sarah and anyone else, that's also the email you can send your suggestion to if you want us to cover it on an episode. But again, enough talking. We said that we were going to do a shorter episode this week. So without further ado, hi Binks. I don't think he wants to assist on this episode. He did ask for PTO. I never got back to him.
Oh shit! So. Yeah, Binks, you get the PTO, bro. I know how it is, so you get it.
But yeah, let's get on to Sarah's story.
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. So I'm actually going to start things off with a quote.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Smarticle particle.
Okay. A few minutes after my arrival, I saw the glass tumblers begin to slide off the slab and the crockery to fall upon the floor and break. The books began to tumble from their shelves to the floor, while brickbats, billets, and wood, smoothing irons, biscuits, potatoes, tin pans, water buckets, pitchers, etc., began to fall in different parts of my house. There have been many other strange occurrences about my house. These facts can be established by 75 or 100 witnesses.
What the heck?
So, that quote was from Alan Powell Surrency, and this is the story of the Surrency family hauntings, also known as the Surrency family poltergeist.
What?
It's a good one, bro. I've never heard of this, and I got super into it. It's crazy.
So, is this like a different... whoa, this is a poltergeist, though. Mm-hmm. It's not even like Amityville. It's not Conjuring.
It's like shit moving on its own kind of thing.
Like Poltergeist, like the movie Poltergeist.
Like the movie Poltergeist. Like, it literally does sound like the movie. That's how crazy this is.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. So, a little bit of history, as always. In 1852, Alan Powell Surrency built his family a home on a small strip of land next to a railway line. He then went on to found and develop the town of Surrency, which, I mean, kudos to him just naming the town after himself. I would too.
Yeah. Wait, quick question. Where is this again?
Next sentence. Surrency is in Appling County in Georgia and is only 0.8 square miles. So I think it's like it's not close to Savannah, but like kind of in the nearish distance is in Georgia.
So it's close to Savannah.
Not, like, super close, but, like, close enough where she, like, has heard
how many
this
miles?
story.
Do you know how many miles?
I can tell you in, like, a second.
Yes, I would love to know.
Okay.
I'm sure our audience would love to know, too.
I think you're right.
And also, if you don't know where Savannah is, Savannah literally is on the coast of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Like, southern
Georgia, so...
hang on. Technical difficulties.
Oh, it's already starting. It has begun, ladies and gentlemen.
What has begun?
I don't know.
Okay.
My tiredness, maybe?
Oh, the loopiness?
Okay,
it's an hour and a half.
North, south?
Oh, Jesus.
Babe.
So many requirements.
No, this is basic stuff, I feel like.
I'm tired. Okay, so it is a little bit southwest.
Southwest of Savannah. Okay.
Yes. Are you good?
I am, yes. I like geographical.
You're right. I should have known.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like super tiny, less than 1 square mile. And as of 2022, it had a population of 193 people.
I'm surprised people actually live there.
Yeah, true. But it's crazy. So yeah, really, really small town. Now, Alan actually had 2 properties. But his main residence was the one in Surrency that we're talking about. And it was 2 stories high and weatherboarded. It was in the shape of like an L. And in one section of that L, there was a kitchen and dining room. And then in the bigger main part of the house, there were 4 bedrooms upstairs and 4 bedrooms downstairs. So this would be because Alan and his wife, Wealthy, yes, her name was Wealthy.
Damn.
They had 8 children. Their names were Millard, Sarah, John, Samuel, Clementine, Biggio? Biggie?
Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes your roles just hypnotize me, and I just love your fatty ways.
We have 2 more children.
Oh, okay.
Robert and Lala. And those are the Surrency children. However, at the time of the story, there were only 6 of them actually living there. So that was Millard, who was 20, Samuel, 15, Biggio, 6, Clement.
I don't know how you didn't laugh at my song, bro.
I'm sorry. I was just so waiting funny. For you to be done. I'm tired. So he's 6, Biggie's 6, Clementine was 13, and Lala was 8. So, according to their peers, Alan and Wealthy were pretty decent, hardworking people. Alan was a sawmill operator, and Wealthy was often found in the kitchen helping with dinner for their guests. They also supposedly provided rooms for board for any visiting guests. They just seemed like pretty good people with, pretty nice life. But things started to change on October 17th, 1872. One of the Surrency daughters, Clementine, was waiting by the train line right in front of their house for her father to come home.
Oh, I already know what happened.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, let's see. The train was running late, and she was like focusing, keeping an eye out for the headlights coming for her dad to come home. It was twilight at the time, so it's kind of starting to get a little dark. And all of a sudden, Clementine notices a dark figure of a man approaching.
Oh, okay.
Are you wrong?
Yeah, I was wrong.
Did you think she
got run over by a train? Got ran over by...
I feel like we shouldn't joke about... I guess it didn't happen. A child didn't get run over by a train.
Yeah.
You want to make the joke?
What was her name again?
Clementine.
Clementine got run over by a train. Thank you.
You're welcome. For letting me... I feel like 0.3% of our audience will get that joke.
It's Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Have you heard of that before you met me?
Yes, that's a Christmas song.
Okay, I grew up listening to that and no one ever... Well, it's okay. It's a famous Christmas song and then they made it like a movie. You hadn't seen the movie before,
I didn't know
right?
the movie, no.
Okay. Well, the song and the movie, like, I grew up with it and no one ever knew it. And then I brought it up to my family recently and they're like, I don't remember that. What are you talking about? And I was like, are you kidding me? Am I like hallucinating my childhood?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
Okay, short episode. So Clementine's waiting for her dad at the train, sees the figure of a man approaching. This makes her feel uneasy. Understandable. So she walks back up to the porch to the house. As she reached the steps of the porch, some kind of stone or similar object landed near her.
The stone.
Definitely no one gets that.
That's an inside joke, yeah. Oh my god, I'm so
you
sorry.
don't get it.
Are you laughing at our audience?
No.
Yo, shame on you.
For shame. I knew this was going to be like the loopiest episode.
We're so loopy. We're like sober as fuck, too.
Yeah. So, quote, not wishing to appear a coward, unquote, those were her exact words, she turned back around and looked in the direction from which she came. When she turned around, the figure was gone. And this is like a pretty desolate area. There wasn't really anywhere it could have been hiding, you know? So yeah, he disappeared. And then a few more objects landed around her.
Landed?
It landed around her. Because remember, an object like landed by her. And so she turned around and she's like, what the heck? And then nothing was there. And then a few more objects landed. None of them ended up hitting her, but they were very close.
Kind of like teleportation kind of thing.
Like they just came out of nowhere. Kind of thing.
That's kind of crazy.
That's when she decided to head on inside. Even though her father wasn't home yet, a few of his friends were there for some reason.
Right.
I don't know if this is just like a more normal practice back then, but
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, you know, like, did your dad never have like coworkers show up after work while he was at home?
No.
Like he got.
I mean, sometime, but like he would be there.
Right. No, that's what I mean. Oh,
right.
But these people weren't.
They were just hanging out in the house by themselves. Like not even a family member was in the room.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
So, it was Alan, the dad's brother, a reverend named Benjamin Blitch.
Benjamin Button.
Close. There was Colonel Roberts.
The Colonel. Mr. Sanders.
And a few other men were there too. They were all like in, I guess you would say like the parlor, like the front room. So when Clementine got into the house, she just walked right past the men and went to go find her mother. So her mom was there, just not with
in the
men.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. As she was walking through the hallway to the kitchen, she could still hear items landing around the property.
What the fuck? So it kind of just like started.
It just kept going, yeah. As she entered the kitchen, small brick ends started to rain down from all sides. The men were called into the kitchen to see if they could like find out what's causing it, but they couldn't find anything. So
there were like multiple witnesses to this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he said like 70, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is I don't know how I've never heard of this, babe. Story is wild. Thank you, Sarah or not Sarah. We appreciate you, whatever your name is. I love it. I love the story. So then pots and pans started to overturn and plates and cups started flying around the room. The coffee pot turned over and silverware skidded along the floor. Then things started to spread to the rest of the house. Sticks fell from the ceiling and vases and photos fell to the floor. And then eventually, Alan, the dad, he got home at about 9 p.m., and his family and friends were actually all, like, very excited to tell him about what they had witnessed. Like, they were just kind of, like, in awe at this point. And it wasn't long before he started to experience things for himself, which was all the things that he listed in that quote I started the story with. So the whole family and all of Alan's friends stay up all night to watch all of these events, except for the Reverend, who jumps on his horse and dips out of there. He's like, this is not cool. Probably because he's like a reverend and is like, this is some kind of witchcraft or something.
Yeah, I mean, but is it though?
I don't know. So at one point during the night, Alan got concerned about some like bottles of kerosene that were in the parlor, and he was like, worried they were going to get smashed. So he had some of their, like, the people working for them take them outside. And pretty much right when they were moved, one of them just fell from the ceiling. No. One of the bottles of kerosene that were moved outside fell from the ceiling, like, out of nowhere, and smashed onto the floor. Isn't that just, like, a big fuck you? Like, that was, like, specific. Like, they just moved it so they wouldn't get smashed, and then it came down and got smashed.
But it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of the ceiling.
No, I don't know. I mean, this is, first of all, this is fucking crazy.
Right?
I don't know if it's paranormal, though.
Well, we cover all things spooky, and I think this is pretty spooky.
No, I get it. I'm not saying, like, oh, you're not giving us a spooky story.
Right,
like,
you just think it's, like, more of a dimensional thing?
I think it's, like, yeah, I think it's,
Like, who's, like, pissed off in another dimension, like, though?
Not another dimension, like, per se. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of, like time travel kind of,
okay.
Teleportation like stuff.
I guess that could still be considered like another dimension, though, right? Like
yeah, I guess so.
A different time.
But you know
dimension.
What I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So all of that just pretty much went on like all night long. Like it didn't stop until there pretty much wasn't anything left to smash, and it ended in the morning. But
so everything in the house got
like
busted?
It was just like any object that could get destroyed did.
Damn, that's crazy. That's
right?
crazy, yeah. Holy shit.
It's just like out of nowhere too. It's not like in The Conjuring where she gets like a bruise here and there, the clocks stop working.
I mean, everything's getting smashed.
Like this is like a stone falls and then a few more stones and then just utter chaos.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So it stops in the morning, but by the afternoon, things had started up again. Alan's other brother that wasn't there the night before, he was called in to witness the events, and at one point, he watched a book slide out of a pile of about 7 or 8 books, and it went clear across the room at about like a height of 6 feet, so it traveled across the room like 6 feet high and landed softly on the floor. He puts the book back on the shelf, and it does the exact same thing. He calls his sister-in-law, Wealthy, over and tells her what happened, and she tells him she's already put it back 3 times, and it's always the same book, a quarto volume of Walker's Dictionary.
Huh.
I don't know what the significance there is, but that's interesting.
Maybe it's just because of how insignificant it is.
Maybe. They were like, I don't mind bothering this book.
Right, whatever's testing this.
Right.
Because I in my head, I'm keeping it as, like, they built, like, a transportation machine.
Uh-huh.
And the figure that she saw in the beginning was probably the person messing with it.
Yeah.
Because you know how, like, I think it's in Insidious, where...
Oh, when...
But he comes up as a shadow, as a figure, but...
His younger self sees him.
Yeah,
we've rereferenced that before, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely could. I didn't even think about, like, time travel with this. That's a really good theory. I was just, like, shocked the whole time.
Just because it sounds weird. Like, if it was Poltergeist, I don't think it would just appear out of thin air.
Be, like, utter chaos and, like, be smashing everything.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's more like...
it would like slide a chair across the floor.
The wormhole is that property.
Yeah.
So like, if it's such a remote area, such a small area, like what better place, you know? Like if you're gonna fucking open up a black hole, like open it up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that is a good point. So at this time, the family's neighbors were all stopping by to witness the destruction. Apparently there was so much stuff being thrown around that people just didn't know where to look first.
Damn.
Chairs, shoes, clothes, everything was being thrown around. It was so much you couldn't even tell like where the items were coming from. Just everything kept appearing everywhere. Even items that the family knew to be in a locked bureau were flying around, and the bureau was still locked. So it like got out of the bureau.
Right.
All right, so naturally the newspapers start to hear about this crazy story, and they send a reporter to investigate. When the reporter arrives at the house, Alan was working outside and told them to go inside. One of the daughters takes them inside and tells them to take a seat and just give it a minute because things are sure to start happening soon. As they're waiting, The daughter shows them the remains of everything that had been smashed. While they're looking at everything and talking, they hear a big lumbering in the next room. They told the reporter that it was a brick that had been thrown, one of many that day. So they decided to go investigate that room, and as they approach it, a heavy pint glass goes flying past their heads with force and smashes against the floor. Then a heavy cast iron was thrown. They told the reporter that these incidents were nonstop. Something would happen every 5 minutes or so it was impossible for the family to get any sleep. Just the previous night, Alan tried to go to bed at around 3 a.m., of course, only to have thick bricks quickly fall all around him.
Fuck.
It's like so dangerous. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just wait, babe. It gets wild. So, the reporter leaves the house, and the news spreads quickly. So another reporter, Mr. Lindestruth, is sent to investigate. He and 2 other men, Mr. Mason and Mr. Campbell, arrive at the house before sunrise. The house was unlocked, so they kind of just let themselves in, which I found interesting, but I guess different times. I don't know. So they go on in the house and just find a room that had like a little smoldering fire in the grate. They got the fire going again and waited for the family to wake up. Not too much happened while they waited. There were a few knocks on the walls, and they heard a couple heavy thuds as if someone had fallen out of bed. But when Alan wakes up, he greets them and confirms all the stories they've heard. He starts getting into the details as he tells them that the hands on their clock would spin wildly, and at that very second, the clock starts doing it again.
Wow.
The hands are moving just super fast, like 5 hours every minute. Luckily, and conveniently, the reporter was also a watchmaker by trade, so he took the clock apart and started checking it for faults, and there was nothing wrong with it. He set it to the correct time, and it stayed there for the remainder of their time there. After that, it was pretty quiet for a while until a pair of scissors jumped from a table to a chair.
Shit.
This is all so dangerous. Then a brick end fell right beside the reporter and broke in 2. He picked up one of the pieces, and it was hot. Both Mr. Lindestruth and Mr. Mason tried to throw a brick on the ground, but neither one of them could recreate that amount of force to break the brick.
Yeah, damn.
So Mr. Lindestruth set the piece of brick on a windowsill so he could remember to take it with him when he left, and right then it fell right off the windowsill and broke in 2.
Wow.
Yeah. He decided to not take it home after that.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yep, there's no need.
Yeah.
There's really no need. So at noon, an iron leapt 6 feet across the room and landed on the floor. They replaced it, and it did it again. When Mr. Lindestruth touched it, it was hot. So they all moved into the dining room for lunch, and as they sat down, an ear of corn fell between Alan and Mr. Campbell, splitting in half and scattering corn all around the room.
What the heck?
I don't know why I like that one so much, but I think it's funny.
Well, because elote is delicious. Mm-hmm. I love corn.
Yeah, I mean, corn. I wouldn't be that mad as long as it doesn't, hit me in the eye or something.
Right.
Did you reference the It's Corn kid?
It's corn.
I just barely heard that. I forgot about that.
Big lump of knobs.
It has the juice.
It has the juice.
Did I say juice?
Probably.
I
don't know. I didn't.
Ay. So, after lunch, more people had shown up to the house, and there were at least 10 people in the front room.
Yo, so they were just crowding this place, wanting to witness.
Oh, yeah. It was, the hottest piece of news at the time, especially in this, small town that just kind of got started, Because I think this is maybe 20 years later? I can't quite remember. But they were all just, keeping an eye out to see if anything would move. And then another ear of corn fell and hit a woman named Mr. Burns who was holding a baby.
A woman named Mr. Burns?
Oh, shit. I literally wrote that.
Oh, my God. Were you tired?
I was probably tired. It's been a long month, you guys.
A woman
I was
called
probably
Mr.
thinking
Burns.
of The Simpsons. I was probably thinking of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. So a woman named Miss or Mrs. Burns, she was holding a baby and she got hit by a corn also.
The baby?
I don't know if the baby did, but she was holding a baby and corn came at him. You better not laugh at our baby if it gets hit by corn.
It's not gonna get hit by corn.
Who knows? You make a lot of corn.
I know, but oh my gosh, that's so funny. What the heck? Ooh, spooky.
Okay, so then chamber glass fell from the ceiling and smashed to pieces in the middle of the room.
The baby just got smacked with fucking corn, bro.
I don't know. All I know is the woman did. The baby could have. That is alleged, that story there.
Yeah.
Baby getting hit by corn.
Baby corn.
Corn baby.
The corn baby.
All I'm picturing is like a baby singing corn now. Like the band.
Just a baby, like, in baby's clothes. A corn in baby's clothes.
Getting hit by a baby. I don't know how short this episode's gonna be. So a glass fell, smashed, and then while all that was going on, the cook in the kitchen was dealing with knives being thrown around as well as pots and pans.
Get out of there, bro.
Why are you trying to cook still? Lunch is over, dude. Like, take a break. Don't need to be in the middle of that. So, that afternoon alone, overall, 75 people had come by train to see all this craziness.
That's nutty.
Just this afternoon.
That's crazy. Damn.
But apparently, whatever entity or whatever that was controlling this chaos did not want to perform all of a sudden. So most of them ended up leaving, but some of them did stay. And the reporter estimated that a total of 500 people ended up coming through the house that day.
Damn, in one day?
In one day.
That's nutty.
To this, like, tiny little small town.
How do you have bread for enough people like that? Like, if you have visitors, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just give them some coffee and bread?
You're right. It is, like, polite.
Yeah.
To do that kind of thing.
Damn, I wouldn't have coffee for 500 people.
I mean, this, like, man, like, was the founder of the town, so I guess he's probably, like, doing okay. But, yeah. That's a lot to entertain while you also have all this shit going on in your house.
Right. And knives and corns.
And knives and corns. The knives are for the corn. So, one interesting thing that the reporter noted was that there were piles of sugar around the house with some pins and a steel pen in them. And I guess the family didn't even use this kind of sugar. Like, they didn't keep it in the house. So sugar was just showing up in the house with pins and a pen in them. Oh, and by the way, like, you just kind of, like, touched on this. I wanted to remember to bring it up. Like, any suggestion that the Surrency family was doing this for money was quickly shut down because Alan didn't take money from any viewers or journalists or anyone that stayed at his house. His guests would even cost him a good amount of money with, like, providing food for them and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
so this wasn't, like, a publicity stunt. Also, how would you fabricate this shit, you know?
Yeah.
With this many people seeing it, it's crazy. So this all started October 17th. So come November, all of it is still going on. And one day, Clementine, the girl that saw that figure, she was upstairs making a bed, and when she was done, she left the room and shut the door behind her. Then she heard commotion inside the room. When she opened the door, she saw all of the bedding from the bed she just made bundled up in a pile, along with every piece of clothing that was in that room. Damn. In a big pile in the bed. So this exact occurrence also happened to Wealthy, the mom, except this time she had also found a set of candlestick molds in the pile that she had just placed in a pot of water in the kitchen.
Wow, even things are moving then.
Yeah. Like, wow. It's crazy.
That is wild, yeah.
Window panes would break on their own, and half a window pane had been seen sliding up and down, like, within the frame. One night, an iron hit one of the young sons in the back while he was sleeping, leaving a very painful wound. And this iron, like, was downstairs. After a while, Wealthy took just Clementine for some reason, and they went to go stay at their neighbors, the Pattersons, for a while. So pretty much as soon as they left, all of the activity stopped at the Surrency household and started at the Patterson household.
Wow.
Like the exact same things. Yeah. So Wealthy did not want all of like the Pattersons' belongings to be ruined as well. So she went back to her home like after just a few hours, but she left Clementine with the Pattersons. When she arrived back home, the activity started up at the Surrency household once again, and it stopped at the Pattersons and never happened there ever again.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it like followed her, which is like weird, because it's like your theory like does make sense, but why is it like sticking around her like that, you know?
Right.
Weird. But yeah, things just persisted as they had been at the Surrency house now, and they would often get splashed in the face with hot tea, coffee, or soup. Their silverware would get bent out of shape while they were holding them.
Whoa.
Like, imagine you're just trying to eat your soup. It splashes you in the face and also bends your spoon. Like,
That's wild.
What a terrible afternoon. Like, I'm just trying to have lunch. I'm just trying to drink my soup, man.
I just want to drink my soup.
The tablecloth had been pulled from the table, scattering all the dishes and silverware everywhere. They were not a talented person that can just like swipe it out. Is it a magician thing or just like a fun talent? I don't think you have to be a magician to like gain that talent. I've seen people do it, not in person, but on TV
I don't know.
shows.
I always thought they were magicians. That they
they might do it too.
That they just wipe the.
But it's like I think if you like practice enough, like anybody could figure it out.
Swiping
or, like,
the tablecloth from under the dishes
without them getting messed up.
I don't know. You need to have some sort of special talent.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone can do it, but they did not have that talent. Whatever was making this happen. Heavy furniture would move across the floor on its own with ease, and some of the children had been hit by falling furniture, pictures, and mirrors, sometimes even causing broken bones.
Damn,
These
holy
poor
shit.
kids. What the hell, man? One day in February, so we're like a few months out, the oldest son was sitting at a table by the fireplace when out of nowhere a metal stand from the fireplace raised in the air literally gathered momentum and struck the boy on his temple.
Fuck.
He then stood up with blood just gushing from his head. Luckily, one of his brothers saw the whole thing and grabbed the metal stand so like it could hit his brother again. But not so lucky, the stand managed to get free from his hands and struck the brother again.
What the fuck?
This is when the boy started running, but the stand followed him.
That's honestly kind of terrifying.
That's super terrifying. And it beat him until he was unconscious at his mother's feet, and then it returned to its spot in the fireplace.
Nah, that's crazy. What the fuck?
Like, if this is time travel, like, is it fucking Hitler doing all this shit? What's going on?
What the fuck?
Like, why is it so hateful? So, the very next day, they dipped out of there. The family grabbed what little belongings they had left that weren't destroyed and went to their other property that I mentioned that he had built. The boy that was attacked did survive, but he did take a very long time to heal, and he developed a fever that did almost kill him.
Fuck. Probably from, like, the
Yeah, it was 1872, 3, so
damn.
Not great medicine and stuff then.
Right.
The family found peace at the other property, and all was well for about a week and a half.
Oh, my God.
When all the activities started back up again and was even worse than it was before.
Damn, so that thing was pissed.
Yeah, I don't understand. I've never heard of anything like this before. Like, except for, like, an attachment, like, on the mom, maybe, and it, like, followed them, but it's just, like, such a weird display of the attachment.
Right,
like,
yeah.
it's not like she was, like, acting differently. It was just attacking their family. Eventually, the family abandoned both properties, and Alan straight up built a whole other third house where they finally got to live in peace. Alan, unfortunately, passed away just a few years later in 1877, and Wealthy passed away in 1899. At least, I don't know about the other two properties, but their main house where everything started is actually long gone. It was burnt down in 1925. I couldn't find any, causes of the fire or anything.
Right.
I don't know if it was arson or just an accident. Interestingly, no apparitions were ever seen in the house, nor were any voices heard or anything like that. So you're right, it's not like a normal haunting type of thing. However, when people visit or go by the property nowadays, there is known to be a bright yellow ball of light that resides there. And that was the story of the Surrency family poltergeist.
Oh, that was a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're a little shorter this time. That's good. Okay. But yeah, no. I was not expecting that. She gave it to me, the suggestion, and I never heard of it, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It's cool. We haven't done a story I've never heard of before. Mm-mm. And I was like, yeah, let me definitely check it out, but I'm not sure if it'll be enough for a whole episode because I don't know what's out there on the internet. And oh my God, that I've never heard anything like that before.
Me either.
That sounds worse than the movie Poltergeist.
Yeah, unless that's what a real poltergeist is like.
I guess besides a child being sucked into another dimension. But she did get sucked into another dimension. Yeah, okay. All right, that makes a whole lot of sense, babe.
I don't know. I guess it could be a mix of them or something.
Yeah, it's just the weird thing is maybe it's how in the movie Poltergeist it was focusing in on Carol Ann, and so that here it focused in on the mom and just kind of followed her for some reason.
Yeah, damn. Well, I don't know.
That was so good.
Thank you,
one. Sarah, or not Sarah. I'm pretty sure it's Sarah. I'm sorry for the confusion and doubt, but
yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
I'm sure you understand.
But yeah, that was a really good one. That's one of my favorites, I think.
Oh, yeah? So far?
It's just different. I don't hear things like that. And I also haven't heard of it before, so it was, more fun. I was, finding things out as I was doing it.
I could see that.
Because all the stories we've done, I know a lot about most of them, if not everything. Yeah. So this was more fun.
Yeah, this was really good.
And I'm glad everyone survived, because I wasn't sure for a second there.
Yeah, I don't like it when, people pass away.
Yeah, that's never good.
Because of stuff like this, it's such a sad ending.
It's how were they supposed to escape that? They didn't have a shot.
And were they destined for stuff like that?
Right.
It just makes me sad.
Yeah.
But oh, what a good story. What a good one.
And actually people looked into the story, I think in the 80s or something, and actually got to speak with one of the sons. I think the one that witnessed the fireplace thing happened to his brother.
Yeah.
And so he again backed up the story and stuff, and then also just all the people that came from out of town to see it. Again, you can't fabricate something like this.
I can't imagine how oh my God, what's the word? Traumatized.
Yeah.
This family was.
For real. I'm so glad they finally got peace.
Yeah.
I wonder why, the third house.
I don't know.
They were able to just finally live in peace. I'm glad they did, though.
Yeah.
But that was a good one. It woke me up a little bit, that's for sure.
It got me sleepy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just calmed down.
Yeah, it's because I do most of the talking, so I'm into it, and I'm just reading you a bedtime story.
Well, that's fine, because then we can just lay it down, and I'll probably fall asleep first, which I prefer.
Perfect. And then we can move into our new house tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan.
Pretty cool. So, but yeah, you guys, next time we are here with you, next episode, we will be recording in our new house.
Yay.
So that's super exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you too. Pretty cool. But again, let's keep it short and sweet. Anything to wrap things up?
No,
besides
just
the usual?
Yeah, the usual. Just thanks to everyone who's listening.
Thank you so much.
You're not listening after last week's episode, I totally understand. But I hope we didn't scare you away with our 2-hour blabber.
Yeah.
And just thanks for the support. Support is free as well.
Yep.
You don't have to pay for that. So we appreciate it if you just like,
share, comment.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Interacting, sharing shit.
Honestly, like one of the biggest ways you can help us too is sending in suggestions. That's, I think, the biggest form of support we could use right now is more and more suggestions, because that's how we're gonna have content for you guys.
Yeah.
So please don't be shy. Even if, like, again, if it's your personal story that doesn't have to do with anything, I am still wanting to do like a listener story only episode.
Yep.
So we can collect those. Please just send them in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And we will talk to you from our house next week.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And we love you guys.
Yeah, we love you. And as always, stay spooky.
Spooky. Spooky.
Spooks.